Hey everyone, this is Pete. Welcome back to Atari ST A to Z, a series of short playthroughs of Atari ST games, some of which I grew up with and some of which are new to me. Today is one of the former. This is Time Bandit. This is my favourite game on the Atari ST, without a doubt. And hopefully I will demonstrate why. So, in this game you are a Time Bandit, which is this little yellow chappy here. And what you do is you wander around the time gates here and you attempt to solve all the various different areas problems. And so all you need to do is you need to decide where you want to go first. And then you just walk in there. And then magically you are transported to another world, another time, where you shoot stuff. But as well as shooting stuff... Oh, no. You don't just shoot stuff, no. You also talk to people. And you can type stuff in. Very exciting. I'll tell you the story of Grey Moon. This was once a happy land. King Quark ruled wisely, and Kelvishan kept the land pure. Then came the sorceress, pledging to help the king defeat an evil foe. Instead, she betrayed the king and tracked Kelvishan. Trapped him, even. But they say that Kelvishan escaped, though no one knows where. The king will give 10,000 cubits for finding him, and the sorceress offers 25,000, but those are not the only options. So, yeah, Time Bandit is an interesting game, particularly considering how early it came out in the ST's life. It was one of the earliest games on the Atari ST, and yet it's one of the most interesting, most creative games that there is. So it's a weird hybrid of action-adventure and text-adventure and maze game and shoot-'em-up and Pac-Man and all manner of other crap along the way as well. Very odd indeed. But as I say, probably my favourite game on the Atari ST. It's a game that I absolutely loved playing back in the day, and it's a game that I still absolutely adore now. And so there's a few interesting little mechanics along the way. So, picking up a treasure there, for example, that freezes all the enemies for a moment, which gives you the opportunity to take some of them out without any risk of injury unless you walk into them like an incompetent idiot. An incompetent idiot, even. I'm so incompetent I can't even pronounce the word idiot properly. And yeah, you collect keys, use those to pass through the locks, and make your way to the exit. Along the way, you have things like these one-way passages, so you can only pass through in the direction of the arrow. Treasure we've talked about. Those monster generators there you can't destroy, like in something like Gauntlet, which this was often compared to for obvious reasons. And then when you get to the way out, that's done. That's it. That's that level. And then you can either go and tackle that level again, and it will be different somehow, or you can go try a different one, like this one, which is Pac-Man. I'm sorry, it's Shadowland. It's not Pac-Man at all. However, this is an amazing place to score lots of points, which is important because scoring lots of points is the only way to heal yourself. So you'll notice you start the game with a whole lot of lives, which you can see over on the right-hand side there. But the only way to get those back, if you get hurt, is to score enough points. And so, unlike a lot of arcade games of the period, the sort of boundary for the number of points you need to get extra life is quite low. I think it's only like 1,000 points or something like that. So it's quite easy to score extra lives. But also scoring extra lives is a key part of the game. As I say, it's effectively healing yourself rather than actually acquiring extra lives as you would in a more conventional arcade game. Whoops. Ow. Well, I think we had a net loss there, but never mind. Let's go and try a different place. Let's go in here. This is Ghost Town. So you see we've got a different sort of tile set here. It's a more sort of wastelandy type place. We've got a combination lock there. We don't know the combination to it. There's probably a way we can find that out somehow. Doesn't appear to be anything in these shelves. So this game is just absolutely full of weird hidden stuff. Mostly in those text-based sequences. And so yes, you can play through the game and just play it to try and complete the levels. But if you want to get the most out of it, you're going to have to engage with those text adventure segments. They're pretty simple generally. So the actual parser for this game isn't terribly complicated or sophisticated. So there's not really complicated commands where you need to sort of determine the perfect combination of verb and noun to make things happen. It's generally, you can generally work out what you need to do in a reasonably straightforward manner. But it's just cool that they're there in the first place. And it allows the whole experience to have a lot more atmosphere and story and humour than you would typically expect from this type of game. So this era of gaming, this was sort of before a lot of game developers were getting really comfortable with telling stories using their games. Time Bandit doesn't really tell a story as such. Not a single coherent one anyway, but each of the different time periods you visit, they all have their own sort of a little meta-narrative to work through, if you like. So we've already seen that Castle Greymoon one where they're talking about the missing king and the sorceress and all that sort of thing. And each area has got its own little plot that you can uncover as you progress, and in many cases even engage with directly by solving the text adventure segments. Warning, mean spirits at large, don't stay long and try not to tread on the graves. So yes, you don't want to tread on the graves here. And then we get ghosts, and when you shoot the ghosts, they display the Ghostbuster symbol. So 1852 and 1834 are the two graves that don't have things in front of them. So let's see if either of those will open up that combination lock. I don't think it was that simple, but let's give it a go. Oh, I'm losing a lot of life here. I'm going to need to go and visit Shadowland again after this, I think. So, what did we say? 1852? No, 1834. Nothing happens. Alright, fair enough. No gem for us then, I guess. Let's just leave, because we're dying. Alright. Back into Shadowland. Now, if you're observant, you'll notice that the layout of the maze is different. In this case, it is upside down. And that tends to be what happens when you revisit a level in Time Bandit, is that it will either flip it upside down or mirror it, or sometimes both. And so that will make the environment vaguely familiar to you, but also kind of throw you off a bit as well. Oh, damn it. This is not my finest hour in this game. But let's do what we can. Ow. Yeah, as I say, this is a long-standing favourite of mine on the Atari ST. It's a game that I've always absolutely loved. I think because it was probably one of the first games that I played on the system. I'm not entirely sure what the actual first game I played on a lot of systems that I had. Largely because by the time I was sort of aware of what we were doing with computers and consoles, we already had a huge collection of software, so it could have been anything. But this was definitely something that came out early in the ST's life. And I remember playing it, and I remember enjoying it, and I remember not quite understanding some of it. Like, not really being able to get my head around those text adventure segments, for one thing. But I just liked the way it was presented. I liked the freedom to tackle the levels in whatever order you wanted was cool. Because it meant you never... you never felt like you were stuck. Because there was always something else you could go and try. Always something else you could do. So if you were struggling with one particular area, just go and do something else for a bit. And it's all fine. So, let's go and do something else. Let's go up into the sky. And have a look here. This mysteriously Star Trek-esque vessel. This is the Excalibur. As you look at the crew bulletin board, you sense a strange silence enshrouding the ship. There are no crew members in sight. You cannot hear the engines or feel the slightest breeze from the air vents. The bulletin board contains the usual daily reminders. Record all important actions on your desk log. Never transport objects into deep space. Use only simple verb-noun commands when talking to the computer. Inv lists the items you are carrying. The only life on board seems to be of a very familiar, very hostile nature. So yeah, that's basically giving you a little hint that this segment here is going to be focusing on the adventure elements, the text adventure elements. There's still going to be shooting, as we can see here, but there's going to be lots to do. So we can sit at a console here. Sitting at the desk, you see indications that the ship is on battery power only. Various monitors show that the orbit is decaying, external hull temperature is rising, and time, as always, is running out. You scan the panels for important data and learn how to use the desk logs. The emergency lights dim as the batteries try to match the drain, but the message is played. Helmsman's log recorded 8609.32. Set course for planetoid Voracious 12. Divert to intercept vessel in distress. Resume to orbit Voracious 12. Continue to adjust for orbital decay. So here we have the option to put in a heading for the helm. Now we don't know what we need to put in there yet, so we'll just leave that for now. Take a look here. Captain, the merchant vessel was trapped in an intense energy field, a grid-like web feeding local power into one point. Their ship could not handle the stress, but I detect no significant threat to the Excalibur. Fascinating. There seems to be a solid mass at the centre of the field. From the energy patterns, I'd say it's a sophisticated time-space warp device, definitely alien. Mysterious. Captain's log recorded 8609.35. Current mission, investigate the strange activity on planetoid Voracious 12. On reaching the area, we heeded a distress signal from a vessel caught in an energy web. We responded to the emergency and discovered an alien device at the centre of the field. We're beaming this device into the hangar bay for further study. Well, that's not clever, is it? Phaser firing pin damaged in testing. Yellow alert issued on heeding distress call. Cancelled upon heeding successful rescue. Emergency red alert, alien invader, shields destroyed, evacuate. Communications log. Received distress call, switched to auto. Hailing Excalibur, emergency code 770M. Our ship is disintegrating, help us. Send. Excalibur acknowledges, stand by for coordinates, transport when ready. Okay, so let's investigate the rest of the ship. Head downstairs. This is the transporter room here. So, can't do much with that in the minute because we don't have any coordinates. And if you try and teleport yourself out into deep space, then you will hurt yourself. At the security door, you hear a woman's voice from an overhead speaker. Hello, dear. You know, I'd love to let you through, but I have my programs to follow. No one gets by without the captain's approval. You wouldn't want to get a poor circuit in hot water now, would you? Of course not. Get proper clearance or be a dear and run along. So, we need clearance from the captain to proceed. Captain, we're under attack. I'm not going to do that. I was in the back of the nacelle fixing a frying pan with a bit of bent wire. When all of a sudden these creatures came in out of nowhere. They smashed our dilithium crystals. We're out of power. Captain replies, evacuate everyone to the lower deck and seal off the lift. We'll be safe there for a while. The The crystal tanks are open and empty. The plot thickens. While searching the back of the nacelle, you come across a makeshift work area. Technical components lay scattered about in various states of repair, among them the phaser firing pin. Bits of wire are strewn about, bent into crude forms. So, take pin. Get pin. It's no use, it's broken. Get wire. You pick up a sturdy piece of wire. Okay, so what do we do with that? I used to know, but I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played this. Let's have a look down here. There's a key. So we can leave at this point if you want to. So it's fixing a firing pin with a bit of bent wire. So can we fix the pin? So fix pin. You begin working with the firing pin. It's composed of fine, delicate fibre components. You may have done more damage simply by handling. You need tools. You put the firing pin down. Use wire. Only a genius or a lunatic would attempt such a complex task. The firing pin has 999 numbered wiring holes. In which do you insert your bit of bent wire? None of them. None of them. Are there any other clues in Scotty's desk here? No. I don't remember what you have to do here. Oh, you can just see the edges of a metal ring lodged between the seat cushions. Get ring. Use wire. You retrieve a Starfleet Academy ring worth 500 qubits. The stone is cut to resemble the Key of Enlightenment. Okay. Let's see if that ring counts as authorization from the captain. Show ring. Give ring. Wear ring. Use ring. You're free to enter. You made a simple door very happy. Yeah, so it's very, very simple text pass. You don't have to actually say what you want to do with a particular item. You just say use it. Right, what have we here? Captain's log, supplement 8609.37. This is recorded in the hope that it may somehow fall into friendly hands. The Excalibur has been invaded by a hostile force. Both communication and counterattack have been futile. Casualties to security and engineering personnel have forced us to evacuate to the lower deck. The aliens will be through soon. We are beaming down to Voracious 12, but it may prove just as hostile. As an account to possible rescuers, I include our landing position. I only hope that my ring has escaped the enemy. The coordinates are 730C. I will activate the security door upon leaving this room. Alright, 730C. So, I guess 730C. And then if we step in here, yeah, here we are. We're on Voracious 12, and surrounded by bad guys, and now we're dead. So, let's have another quick go at that, just because I want to see what happens next. We'll have one more go. And we'll go straight into that one this time, with lots of lives. So, now I don't know if it randomizes things like those codes. I have a horrible feeling that it does, so I think we're going to have to basically do that again. But that's okay. We know what to do. So, let's just go straight up here and get the wire. And go get the ring. Oops. Ow. Where's the ring? Ah, there it is. Use ring. No, use wire. Right, so then we can go downstairs. Now we can use ring. Shooty, shooty, shooty. Come here, horrible alien. $550Y. Yeah, so it does randomize those coordinates every time you play. So you can't just skip it. You have to actually go through the sequence. So 550Y. Let's beam down and have a look around. Ideally, without death. Notice, all Federation members, leave at once. As the neutrality of this planetoid, forget it. Voracious 12, home of the vicious watch tribbles, incidentally one of the only creatures capable of mutual tolerance with our species, is hereby claimed by the Klingon Empire. Copyright infringing. Never mind. Direct any questions to the native population. Trespassers shall be eaten alive. Simpler times. Simpler times when you didn't need to care about copyright. Right. There's a thing there. What is the thing? Captain of the Excalibur, log 8610.31. We've been captured by the Klingons in an overt act of war. They have annexed the planet with no regard for its status and attacked the crew of a Federation starship. And now they plot to raid the genetic research labs of Starbase 4 at heading 118W. 118W. Right, remember that. (118W). Okay, so I assume the ship hasn't got any power, has it? So well, let's see what we can do. So if we go and set a heading for 118W, a light indicates insufficient power. Yes, I thought so. So I forget. I have a feeling that you can only go a certain distance. Crystal tanks are open and empty. See, they're there certainly. No, nothing else I can take there. And there are some crystals down in that cave. It's just, it says they don't appear to be useful. Ow. And I think we're going to die soon again anyway. So, well, let's just see if we can do anything with those crystals, because they look like they should be the crystals to go in the engines or whatever. Can we shoot them? Nope. So, you come across a natural fissure lined with dazzling blue crystals. With your pocket tricorder, you notice a curious double helix structure resembling DNA in the crystal's geometry. Too bad that makes them too brittle to have joule or tool value. Use wire. Use ring. Use crystal. Get crystal. I don't know what to do then. Let's just leave for now. Can always come back. Or we can die. That's good too. I haven't even got the key. Where's the key? Oh, it's down at the bottom, I think, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. So now we're going to leave. And you can come back and you can do all that again. But upside down. Because that's how this game works. Let's just go and do a quick Pac-Man to get some lives. Or at least try to get some lives. A life. That'll do. It's better than nothing. Ow. Well, that made this entire endeavour a complete waste. But hey, who's counting? That one was just plain incompetence. I apologise. I should be doing better for you, dear viewer. But, well. Go away. Go away. Don't kill me. Well, I now have no lives left. So let's just jump into a random place. Let's go into this one here. This is Dark Side Dare from Brightly. So this one, all the walls are invisible until you try and walk through them. And so it's a right pain in the ass. But they're all wibbly wobbly walls, which is kind of cool. Oh, dead. Right, anyway, I'll spare you any more of that because otherwise I will quite happily sit here all night and play Time Bandit because it's an amazing game. Yeah, as I say, this is probably my favourite game on the Atari ST. So if you play one game from the ST library, make it Time Bandit. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please help out the channel by leaving a like or a comment and subscribing. New episodes of Atari A to Z are on Tuesdays and Atari ST A to Z on Thursdays. Check out atariatoz.wordpress.com for a full archive. Do please also check out my other projects moegamer.net, where I explore Japanese and Japanese-inspired games from yesterday and today, and videopackgames.wordpress.com, which aims to catalogue the small but well-formed library of the Philips G7000 Videopack computer, also known as the Magnavox Odyssey 2. You can also support my work on Patreon or buy me a coffee. You can find links to do both down in the video description. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.